All right. Are we ready?
Where's mine? Where is it?
It's been here the whole time.
Okay, check my levels. Ooh, I sound good.
Well, isn't that...
It's been a long day.
It only took 7 episodes for you to finally get the right level of Feud.
It's been a long day. I feel very underdressed tonight.
Well, you are. So, okay.
Oh!
No kidding. You're fine.
All right, everybody, let's just start the fucking show because we're both a little numb and shell-shocked from what we've just seen.
Yes. I'm just trying to process
I
things.
think I need to just go out and roam around the streets for a while and maybe pick up a hooker. Or be a hooker. One or the other.
Been there. So you're basically going back to your old tricks.
Oh, look at you. Look at you.
This?
Okay,
I feel
this
emotionally
episode,
gutted. I do. Not to be dramatic. Not to be dramatic.
Not to be dramatic at all.
But I feel like, oh.
I feel like I've just been slapped to the floor by my pimp.
Yeah.
Let's just read our tea bags. Or T for two, T for you.
This is T
This
for
is
two.
T. This is by the way, this is the last episode of Feud, and I'm Jake, a.k.a. Poodle, and this is some other.
Hello, I'm Maddie.
Yeah, we're shaken.
We are shaken.
I'm shaken
not
to
stirred.
the core.
Yes, that's true. We didn't even introduce ourselves.
I'm shaken.
You know what? I'm not going to change that in editing because that's
I just broke this.
Because that is real. This
is a symbol of my heart.
His pad just broke everybody. All right. So there's two. Switching gears a little bit. There's 2 quotes. There's one that I would like to read.
You mean comments?
Comments. One from Jazz, who says,
Jazz! I like the jazz.
The Werewolf of Walnut Grove, episode 14 of season 6.
Okay.
Where Albert...
He was correct.
You know what? And someone said, if you're right, I'm going to eat my sock. That's exactly what she said. So
I don't believe it. Let's go to the tape. By saying let's go to the tape, I mean I don't want to.
You're going to rue the day. Rue the day. Anyway, I just want to say I was correct. Memory serves me
but
correct.
No, you weren't really correct. You said Albert was a werewolf, and you were wrong.
No, I said, was he a werewolf or something like that? And because Jazz says, school bully Bart begins menacing his classmates, especially
I think
Albert.
You said he
Tired
was
of
a
harassment,
werewolf,
Albert
so I was
creates
actually
a paper-mache
correct.
werewolf to mask. So he does become a werewolf. He becomes a mask like Joan Crawford did tonight to terrorize Bart into ceasing his bullying his behavior. It works
really
until
wasn't.
Carrie opens her mouth.
That's the worst recap I've ever heard of an episode.
Well,
but
he
anyway.
probably copied it. You know what? But
all right,
Jazz, thank you.
Give me the next one.
You can read that one or that one.
Let me see. I hope you're doing well. Oh, I like gay reality bites. Or sorry,
Okay.
Gary reality.
It's Gary. Gay reality bites.
I just coughed like Betty Davis.
That would be, that would be good.
It's like Winona Ryder, but gay. Gary Reality Bites 1 says, "Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. The best thing about watching Feud has been your recaps." Thank you, Gary.
Oh, that's
As
sweet.
we close a chapter tonight, that means so much.
It does.
You both are hilarious. Some of my favorite moments of the show are Jake's amazingly odd tales of Southern life and Maddie rolling his eyes. That's the other way around.
He loves us, but he mixed us up.
And dramatically staring into the camera. That is definitely the other way around. But you know what? We don't differentiate ourselves another. That's me rolling my eyes.
Yes.
Giving epic silent shade. Thanks for being the highlight of my week and making me... You know what? Just because we made you happy, it doesn't matter if you mix us up. Because, all Southern queens look alike.
Boy, that's true.
So
that is true.
I kind of understand that. So, Gay Gary Reality Bites 1, Winona Ryder. We salute you.
I didn't know this.
Salute
We're going to
shorts.
do this. I'm going to read another one because Gabrielle Rivas says...
Why not? Let's throw the whole format out the window.
She said...
Fuck it.
She says, "Dear Jake and Maddie, I've been loving your recap of Feud for the past few weeks. Thank you.
Are you making
dear.
this one up?
No." And she says, "It's a great series. I'll revisit. That's wonderful." She said, She's preparing for the inevitable series finale that we watch tonight. She's listening to Joan Crawford reading from her book, My Way of Life.
Oh, yes, which we saw talking about tonight.
And she said it's a 5-record set of her book. I kind
of want to read it.
She said you can find it on YouTube. So we'll find it and we'll put the link in there.
Yeah, we're going to have to look at that because everything she said tonight, like things like, you must be good company at parties and things like that.
I sit on hard chairs. Soft chairs make your hips
hips straight.
That was great. That's from Gabrielle from Brooklyn, New York.
Thanks, Gabby, from Brooklyn.
We appreciate you. Hey.
Okay.
Hey, we appreciate
your Brooklyn accent.
Hey, no, it's just like a Brooklyn accent. Hey, are you talking? Because I'm walking here. I'm walking. Yeah.
You have a speech impediment like a waterhead baby. Let's move on. I think waterhead baby is offensive. I think it's hydrocephaloid.
Sure.
Sorry, that's what they called them when I grew up.
Well,
hydrocephaloid.
Wow, I'm glad we've offended already the Jews and the hydrocephaloid in this episode.
All right,
everybody.
Sorry, we're gonna have to see if we can get this done. We're doing this late tonight because I had a certain job issue that I had to finish tonight, and we're tired, and we're just gonna get it done. That's a beautiful violin playing.
Thank you.
So let's jump into our tea bags.
It was actually from All By Myself. It was the interlude of All By Myself.
It did not sound very good.
Dion. All right, why don't you go first?
No, I want you to go first.
Okay.
Because I want to do things opposite.
Okay, I think the first thing that I want to, we've always talked about this show, but
get to it.
Man, the art direction, because this really, they jumped into a different decade here.
They did, and I want to talk about that later too.
The way, just even like that one shot of Joan Crawford sitting on her bed, and you forget in the 60s how the bed perfectly matched the curtains.
The 60s/70s, the transition into those, like the late 60s, was really big.
Yeah. And I just
felt modern.
It felt modern. And I'm going to talk about the scene later, but the art direction too of just like the lighting where Joan Crawford was in that cave in the set with the Trog or whatever it's called, and
poor Trog
and her hat, Joan Crawford's hat
with the fur.
She kept Franklin wishes she had a hat like that. Oh, Aretha Franklin,
remember that inauguration
she
hat?
Had that hat.
Remember the first time you saw at the first Obama inauguration when you saw the Aretha hat?
I do.
Oh,
I do. I remember where I was.
We all saw it, and we were all a little speechless.
It's probably the way people felt about JFK or 9/11. You remember where you were with that
hat.
When
you saw that hat.
Ooh.
And it was just so... Look, I bled all over this paper. What? Sorry, that's another...
Why are you talking about having a period in the middle of
No, my finger
was cut? Do you have your myriad?
Because
you're acting emotional.
No, I'm just emotional because you know what? People get emotional, and that's okay.
People...
I'm going to start talking. God damn it, where's my... I've got to get that penny jar.
In the world.
All right, I'm going to keep talking.
All right.
My first thing is when they talk about the Buckle. When
the
she's having
store
her
in Oklahoma. Teeth. That's where we shop at the Buckle. That's all that's in Mountain View Mall. That's all you can get. My dad makes me go there every Christmas to get a Buckle gift card.
I got to get something at the Buckle.
He's like, get something for Janet.
At the Buckle.
Yep. For his wife, and so I get something at the Buckle. She loves the Buckle.
So if you're a gay guy in the South and you don't want to look too gay, but just a little gay, go to the Buckle.
They have like jeans with like the white lacing on the side,
embroidery
jeans.
It's honestly where gay men in the South go.
I think they steal their leading fragrance there is Curve for men. I loved Curve for men. I wore the shit out of that in 7th grade.
I'm glad you don't wear cologne anymore, by the way.
I liked it. I wore Curve because I never went straight.
But I really appreciate you not wearing cologne anymore.
I just don't wear it around you.
Really?
Yes.
Do you wear it to work?
Yes.
People out there, put in your comments, is anyone really wearing cologne anymore?
Nobody cares about this.
No one. You're right. No one cares. But I'm saying people around you are sensitive to smells.
You're right.
And
no one's wearing. Britney Spears hasn't made billions of dollars from selling perfume.
Yeah, but it's trashy people.
Curious isn't bad. Don't knock
Let's
it.
move on.
Try it.
Anyway, the buckle is when Joan Crawford was having teeth problems, and she had all of her molars taken out to make her jawline look better.
That is
And you know what?
ridiculous.
Does anybody know where I can get that done? Because that sounds really great. Does anybody know a dentist who would actually do that? Because...
Oh, my gosh.
Private message me. Anyway, that's fucked up, but I can't honestly say I didn't want to do it. But
boy, it's shocking, though, what kind of got me about that
she's like,
scene.
it was all done. Everyone did it.
Yeah, what shocked me about that is that it still shocked me. After all we've seen in these 7 episodes of what these women have been through, the
studio system... If you read a book on it, if you read a book on the studio system of Warner, or, all the MGM, the studio system was fucked up. A lot of the places that we live, this apartment is one of the ones we think that was built to house studio women, especially who came out here who wanted to be stars.
Oh, for Paramount, because we're close to Paramount. Yeah.
Yep, Paramount's not very far, so. But yeah, it was not a kind mistress.
A lot of dreams have died in here. We should have
a lot of the dreams have died.
Or
I guarantee
I
guarantance. You,
Why haven't we had a gay-on?
Someone has died in this apartment. I guarantee you.
You almost did.
That's true. This apartment's 1921, so someone's died. Anyway, wow. I love talking about the buckle. So, what's your next one?
We speak your language at the buckle. That's the theme song for the store.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I have to say, this is one thing. Betty Davis is known to have said this, and Jessica Lange has said this, that this is what she has came away with for this character. But, I have to say, like, we've talked about Joan Crawford, like, really going into madness, especially last episode, and being crazy. But, I mean, I don't know, the better word is, like, the chutzpah or the drive of this one. That she got up and she just kept going when she's this
But I think it was necessary, and I think she desperately needed to work because for her work equaled love.
Yeah,
and the only way she could get love was to work and to be respected. And I honestly don't think she loved. And this is kind of controversial what I'm saying here. I may be making some news.
When he says controversial, there's going to be like 3 queens that go, "Oh, girl, I can't believe you said that," and then the rest of the world keeps turning.
I'm breaking some news.
The Earth is spinning on the same axis.
I don't know if she really enjoyed acting. I think she might have enjoyed the accepting part of it because there are a lot of actors out here. This is Los Angeles who need to be loved.
Wow.
And sometimes they do it for that reason.
Yeah. And
I think she was one of those. Betty Davis, on the other hand, loved the work. She loved getting into a character. She loved, but the same way, I think she enjoyed the lauds as well. So.
Yeah, no, I think so too. But that scene where she just, where she's walking the set of Trog, right? That's what it's called.
And she's
Trog.
Just trying to get the blocking right.
And she's in that cave, and she just sits down at that cave, and that moment where you see her almost kind of, it's like she just accepts, like the changing in the van and all this, and she just puts on that mask, and it's just...
I actually thought that was one of the worst parts of the show, and I thought it was overdone. I kind of went, okay, we get it.
But that's Joan Crawford, though. Nothing is subtle about her.
That's but that didn't happen, and that was written by a TV writer. But anyway,
we could go a whole teabag about what was real and what wasn't.
I know, but it was too much. It was too much, and that was totally like. But the idea was it may have happened, and that's what I want to get to later on because I knew what now we get into. At the end of this episode, it was pure non-biography.
Yeah.
And that's what but I want to talk about this next one.
The rest of the story. Remember Paul Harvey? I love Paul Harvey.
He's dead now.
Oh.
I know.
That's sad.
So as Maddie said, we're getting into the 60s. And
welcome to the 60s.
I should not ever said that.
Hey, mama, look around. Everybody's dancing.
Let's
to
just
a
wait
good
for this.
new town.
Let's just wait through this.
Well, I go to the 60s, and I went to the 60s.
You are dancing on their graves.
Come on, original. Mama, welcome to the 60s.
Now we're just in gibberish. That's me hitting him because it's the only response.
I'm done.
Thank you. God. So we're in a different time, and as he said earlier, like time relationships between men and women are changing. But when they were filming Trog, and she was also the kind of the disjunction between her reading about her lifestyle book, which we comment about, when she's like, "You must blah blah blah," and then she's having to change in the car.
Yes,
and it's all about the nice things you have to do, and like that's brilliant. The editing there is just like I was watching and going, yes, taking a very abject thing that she has to do that very abject thing on the screen, and then her saying something like, "You must always make everyone feel comfortable. I love meeting people." Well, and she doesn't.
And she doesn't. She always had...
We got to get that book.
We do. Well, I want to hear her read it. I'm going to go post a YouTube clip. She always had this kind of bipolar view of the world. And
yes.
And it was just... And till the end. That's what, like, is, again, kind of just like you admire her, but you're like, wow... Till the end, she had that.
Agreed. What's your next one?
My next one is... there's so much. There's so much. Mine is... So switching gears, talking about Bette Davis.
Okay. Sure.
And, well, first of all, I loved kind of the way this episode was, where I felt like the first act was kind of like you see... Joan Crawford, and then what I liked that you didn't, but when she puts on that mask and
I didn't like it.
Well, there's definitely though you see like she's accepting this is a bit.
That was what the writer told you, but that's fine.
Well, I know, but what I feel like that was echoed is in the second act with Bette Davis, when we're kind of hearing about Bette Davis and we're seeing her life and where she at, and one of the things that kind of always. Grounded Bette Davis was the way she felt about her family, and that she talked about her family, kids, and that scene in the restaurant where the daughter
comes in and says, "You know what? You don't get to see the kids without us." There.
Yeah, and she left her there
because she swatted our kid.
I thought that like arc of both of those women, that way that ended in Act 2 was just like,
yep.
This was like seeing a Stephen Sondheim musical for the first time. It was just.
You know what? I'll kind of agree with that.
This was like
there were a lot of layers, like Sondheim.
A lot of layers.
You know what? If you don't know Sondheim, Google it.
Google
as has been said.
But yeah,
look at Into the Woods, God damn you!
It was, and Bette Davis when she's sitting there.
But don't look at Passion because it's boring.
That's boring. But when she's wearing that beret.
I actually wrote down beret ! Yes.
That's
one of
gay.
That's one of my comments.
The gayest fucking comment. Jesus.
I have my next thing had to do with Bette Davis is filming that movie, with Faye Dunaway as the lead, and she's Amy Semple McPherson's mother.
I do wish that I kind of thought they were going to show us an old Faye or like young Faye Dunaway. That would have been amazing.
For those of you who don't go, for those of you who aren't as gay as we are, Faye Dunaway was the lead in Mommy Dearest, the Joan Crawford story,
which Faye Dunaway says ruined her career.
Yeah, that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and supposedly for anyone who lives in Los Angeles, Faye Dunaway lives in West Hollywood and is a complete nightmare. Yeah, everyone has a problem.
She says the movie. She says that the Mommy Dearest movie. He said it painted a picture of her of being a terrible person. But as we can see, she did that herself.
Anyway, so they show a scene where everyone's waiting.
I loved her in Supergirl, though. Loved her in Supergirl with Helen Slater.
There we are.
I love that film.
Shut up.
Loved it.
I'm going to keep talking now.
Best work.
Just shut up. So anyway, it is 3:30 a.m. And I just need to talk. So Faye Dunaway is still not in set, and one of the great Johnny Carson clips has Johnny Carson talking to Bette Davis, probably in the 70s, saying, "Is anyone you didn't really get along with?" And she even says, "No, John and I were fine, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "Was there anybody?" And she said, "Faye Dunaway."
Called her out.
She was late. She was rude to the crew. She was the most unprofessional actress I've ever worked with. She did that on national television.
That's
she
fucking
read
balls.
that bitch.
That is balls.
I know, and that's why I love they put it in here, because that's where she developed that hatred, and I love it. Anyway, I enjoyed it.
So there's. Okay, I'm just
what's your next
much.
one? You should have marked it. God,
no, I did mark it, but I'm just going. So when this is jumping forward a little bit. But
oh, great! I love that.
So after Joan Crawford had passed away, and
we're jumping forward a lot
because I still want to talk about the regrets game and all
yes,
that
I do too. But you're moving past it.
That's the point of the tea bags. We just fine. We can talk about the regrets game.
It's just a fucking free for all.
You know what? I didn't know there was an order because we started to have one, and then you said,
"Okay,
there's too much. We just need to go."
Here we go. Let's first talk about how this episode breaks the frame. We were doing a strictly biographical show. Mm-hmm. Then as soon as Joan Crawford kind of goes into this where Hedda Hopper and Jack Warner at the table, we're like in a different place. We're in some type of narrative, creative show. And that's when I said, okay, we're in a new place now.
And Tim Minear, call us. Let us know what we
Tim
really...
Minear, what was it like in the writer's room?
We do. I'm gonna ask him for
an
interview.
And I'm proud for you for saying Tim Minear instead of Tim Meaner.
Well, it took... I'm going to tweet him and say, can we interview you?
I would love to interview him. I'd like to know that.
I hope you wear a different shirt if we do.
I'll wear something than a V-neck T-shirt.
Yes.
You know what? I've been working, trying to make my rent all day and playing piano for singers. And it was a lot.
Rehearsal.
And I can't put on any more clothes. Anyway, so...
Well, my grandmother did that, by the way, jumping to the regrets game. My grandmother, I was with her, like, her last month and a half of life.
She played piano?
Yeah.
And tried to...
But no, she died of cancer. But she did...
Way to bring it down.
But no, she was having full-on conversations with my Uncle Jerry, who died of meningitis when he was 12, talking to her son, talking to people that weren't there in the room, full-on... So, I know
mental illness or... inspiration.
Well, I think when your mind is starting to, because cancer is eating your mind, eating your brain. So I think it just all starts to go.
And on a more higher note,
well, this episode ended sad.
The party scene. So we have Hedda Hopper and Jack Warner, and so
they're playing poker.
She's in a different place. No, they're not.
They were playing cards.
Okay, some kind of.
They were playing cards.
So. Anyway, and Hedda Hopper has a great feather hat on, as usual.
As per usual.
Don't ever say as per usual again. I wrote down we're moving in a different territory, and this is more of a different tactic. So they're playing the regrets and wishes game.
Forget regrets. I'm sorry I sang that. Because I hate this show.
I think you were sorry before you sang it, and you still needed to do it.
Now it's in my head now.
If I beat your head against the ground, will it come out? Because that's what needs to happen.
Why would we say no gay, but that
because
gay?
I'm not bowing at the throne of rent. And no one needs to hear our choices in selecting cabaret songs. Anyway, let's move on.
Anyway, you're talking about the game. So she's seeing them play poker.
And then she's saying, they're saying, I don't know why, I don't know why I treated you so poorly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this was a nice way to end the series. Do I think it was accurate? Probably not.
It was a little buttony.
Yeah, it was a little, but that's a great way to put it. It was a little neat. It was a little neat. That unnecessarily so. But I loved the way it was done. anyway, that's all I have for the game.
But what made it worth it is when they came out of it, and Mamacita kind of like brings her back. And then when she turns on the lamp.
Gassed.
She did. When she turns on the lamp, and then you see that second where Jessica Lange basically got nominated for an Emmy for this episode.
And
Susan
honestly,
Sarandon too.
She looks just like the promo videos when she was in Long Day's Journey into Night. The play. Who wrote Long Day's Journey into Night? Oh God, it's gonna kill
I don't know.
me. Yeah, you didn't get. You weren't in theater for a long time.
But when she turns on the lamp, and then we have this moment where Joan Crawford kind of sees her surrounding, and you think she's going to react negatively. And then again, this is what happens when you're a week before being dead: is that she just kind of switched and was like, "Oh, hello, Mamacita."
Right, she knew.
I have to say too, just like that going in a segue, talking about when Bette Davis, when she was at her last Academy Awards appearance, I think it was her last one.
Ooh, that was good.
And because you never think about, even I watch the Academy Awards and you'll see, really? Like, are you kidding me? Like, Gary Marshall died or whoever, and they only show like 2 seconds.
Yeah. And then she's like, that's all any of us are ever going to get.
But I've never thought about what is it like to be an actor that's devoted 50 years of your life.
And you get 3 seconds and Sarah McLachlan singing over your name. In this picture of dogs. All right, that's enough.
Anyway, but yes, but when they all toasted her, again, that you got to give that to Bette Davis. She did have respect for her,
right.
And so that's why it was.
Sorry,
go ahead. No.
I also love we finally understood the frame. Like you saw the documentary and. And that was a great detail because we knew there was a documentary being filmed. Then we met him, and then we saw her refuse to be a part of it.
Yes,
but that part of it has
out of respect for Joan.
Yes,
so this is what I kind of wonder. What do you think was the part that I felt was confused me? Is what do you think was her motivation? Whenever the reporter called Bette Davis and said, Joan Crawford is dead, do you have a comment? And she said the famous quote.
I think she was doing one last stitch at fame.
Do you, like,
because she knew she would be remembered for how she talked about Joan Crawford. And I think that was going to get her one more big news story.
And it did.
And honestly, because Bette Davis always wanted to work. She wanted to work not because of the accolades, but because she needed to work. And Bette Davis basically worked until she couldn't.
Yeah.
And she made, so many movies after all that. She made Watcher in the Woods, as we all know.
Karen.
There.
Karen.
And you think I do a bad Bette Davis?
I think it sounds just like her.
No. Anyway, those are my tea bags, but I have some quotes.
Well, I want to say this, just kind of like overall, something that I love because I love this kind of stuff. But I mean, not to bring it down, but this episode really just kind of brought home that like no matter what we create in life, like we all kind of die the same and. It did. It really.
Wow. Everybody take that in.
No, it really. But it did. It really did.
Take your antidepressants, or if you're thinking about hanging yourself, do it now.
But no, I thought it was.
Got that noose ready, everybody? Start on it.
But no, it is.
Wow.
But no.
You know what? We do this to entertain people. You know that, right?
You know what? I know, but we're real. Okay? We're real. But
yeah, there's a difference between real
you let
and
me bring
fucking
it back
depressing.
Up. Who was it? Was it Jack? Was it Head of Hopper? Who was it said that, or was it Jack Warner that said that in Joan Crawford's story that's about what you leave them with is a different legacy? Who said that? Because I thought that was beautiful because it was so true that people do remember more of the good.
I just want to kill myself now, thanks to you. I'm going to go on with my quotes because that was just sad.
Well, I'm real. I'm like Jennifer Lopez. Because I'm real, the way you walk, the way you talk.
Everyone just take a moment to think how sad that this is. He's singing a Jennifer Lopez song. So, some quotes.
Not a good one.
Joan Crawford, when someone says, I think you can stop worrying about the way you look now. I'll stop worrying about the way I look when they dip me in formaldehyde.
That's the truth.
Same thing for me. Do you have any others?
I had the quote that I really liked is when, at the Oscars, when Bette Davis says, I'm going to start using this where I'm going to just say, I'm not here to present, I'm here to preside.
Oh, I was going to use that one, but you're right. I like that one too.
You would say that. You do like to hold court.
I do.
That's a problem.
I was going to talk about Joan Crawford as dad. Good. And I was going to say, I'm not here to present, I'm here to preside. Oh, my God. But I did say, at the very end, when Bette Davis is talking to the documentarian why she won't talk about Joan Crawford, she says, we did one picture together. She was a professional. That's amazing.
That's amazing. Oh.
And then it leads into that final shot where it shows them what the first day was like.
That was, it also, again, I just want to know.
Before anyone else had fucked with their fucking relationship.
Tim Meaner, please. Because
Tim Meaner, as someone says.
But no, it's also like when Bette Davis tried to call Joan Crawford.
Oh, these moments.
I wonder if that really happened.
These are what I call blue ball moments.
Boy.
I don't think it really happened.
I think these are more rainbow ball. I don't think anybody's...
Anyway... We really enjoyed this fucking show. Can you look up something please for me?
You know,
we really,
I don't know what we're gonna do.
Enjoyed this. It was almost too much, and we only feel like we have one thing to say because both these women did everything they did.
For what?
It is 4 letters, and it begins with L, and ends with
lube. They did it for lube.
It ends with OVE, you fucking cretin. So, the only way to end this...
I just said lube.
I'm going to let you finish because we talked about ending this earnestly.
We did. Sorry, I brought it down, and then you got on to me for being real.
Kiss today, goodbye. The sweetness and the sorrow. We did what we had to you, but I can't regret what I did for love. What I did for love. You're going in the wrong key.
No, I did. You did the next one.
Look, my eyes are dry. The gift is ours to borrow. It's as if we always knew. And I won't forget what I did for love. What I did for love. Just like Betty and Joan. Gone. Love is never gone. As we travel on, love's what we'll remember. Take it.
Kiss today goodbye. Ooh. And point me toward tomorrow. Ooh. We did what we had to do. Won't forget, can't regret what I did for love.
Let's end it. What I did for love. What I did for love. They did it for love.
We love you, Feud.
We love you, both of you.
Oh, God, I can just cry now.
I'm going to die. Anyway, we love all of you. We love all of you, too, and we're doing this for love.
We are. We'll see you on our other recaps.
God knows what we're going to do next.
You know what? I can't even about to say this. Fire Island on logo. Oh boy,
we're gonna do it.
You know what? This is like
27th.
This is like Trog for Joan Crawford. We are going in a minivan, put on a mask.
We are slumming the fuck out of this motherfucker.
That show starts on April 24th. That's Thursday.
27th. You shit.
Whatever, sometime. But we'll see you at Riverdale. We love you guys.
Bye. This has been a fun one.